Sportsline Podcast. We certainly appreciate you hanging out with us, listening to us, watching us. Hey, folks, as you know, the Spotlight, the best in sports from Hamilton, Halton, and Niagara. On this edition, we're talking baseball, and in particular, the 107-year Inter-County Baseball League, whose 2025 season is just underway. In our home region, the Hamilton Cardinals have been making their mark on and off the diamond. So let's talk to the big dog, president and owner of the Cardinals organization, Eric Spearin. He's in the house. Thanks for joining us, partner.
Thanks for having me, Bubba.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited. I'm really excited for you guys as an organization. I'm so excited for you guys on the whole. The IBL, help me out here. The IBL is cool.
Oh, yeah.
How have you done it?
Well, it's not just myself.
Yes.
We've got great owners across the league. But, I was here a year ago with you, and I couldn't have predicted the amount of momentum, not just the Cardinals have had, but the entire league. Mm-hmm. There's been so many changes, so many exciting things. This league is just on a huge trajectory.
And like you said, it's not just you. I appreciate what I've seen you do individually to improve the Cardinals brand. But this is happening in Welland, and we had Ryan Harrison in here, and he's going to be in here in a couple of days too to talk about his product and what he's been doing. But Toronto Maple Leafs, who have been around for you tell me how long.
Many years. 70 plus years. Yeah.
New ownership in Brantford, who's the owner there seems really excited about this no tariff baseball.
He's the original Ted Lasso.
Original Ted Lasso. But what I love about what you guys have done and all your teams, Barrie has always been a stronghold. You guys building and appreciating that the fan experience. Obviously, the wins and losses are huge, but the fan experience is so important.
Yeah, I think so. That's our fans are the local community. It's the parents that have kids in local baseball. So they're coming out to the games. We want to entertain them, get them engaged, give them the experience that they may not get at a Toronto Blue Jays game, a little bit closer to the action, and the players are a little bit more accessible.
I think there's a lot to be said about that because of the affordability of your product as well, too. And if you're a parent or a single parent and you're bringing your kids 1, 2, 3 of all ages, I feel like you are kind of reaching the kids and the parents as well too with all the stuff that you offer. Yeah,
it's very affordable. $12 tickets, general admissions. You can sit wherever you like. Kids 10 and under are free at Cardinals games, and then our concessions fully licensed. But we have a variety of local partners there. All the meets are with Deningers. Mm-hmm. So again, you're supporting another Hamilton business by being there. We serve Sean and Ed breweries, Lager Shed beer. Yeah, so again, local. We have a number of different local sponsors that are out at the games as well, setting up on our concourse. So yeah, it's a really good Hamilton-based product.
And when you're reaching out to those companies, they're all in. I'm presuming they really appreciate what you guys are doing in terms of it being a sport.
Yeah, they do, and they like getting out there and having their brand tied with us, and we try to do some really fun activations. We've got even the local franchise owners for some of the national brands like Little Caesars. We did an initiative with them and Mission Services last year called Strike Out for Hunger. Mm-hmm. So every time a Cardinals pitcher struck out a batter, we were donating $3 to Mission Services to fight hunger here in Hamilton. So yeah, just trying to not just do the corporate side, but also tie back into charities and different community initiatives.
And this could be the reason why big news developments or stations like Bloomberg, they're talking about the Inter-County Baseball League. What's going on there?
I know. Again, I was here last year, and you could tell me that Bloomberg was going to be covering us and our signing of Fernando Rodney and the entire league. Couldn't have predicted it. Our commissioner, Ted Callanans, he's done a fantastic job. He sees a vision for us, and he said that in the Bloomberg article that we're on a path to go pro.
Professional
CFL baseball. That's something that when I first got into the league, I kind of saw where Welland was pushing the league, and they always treated everybody in a professional manner, the way the whole experience was. And, here we are. A lot of us have adopted that same model. And now Ted's saying, yeah, that's the future for us. So we're looking forward to it.
Well, I would have never thought that. I mean, I guess we would say going back in the Hamilton Cardinals history books, there was a time where I guess it was considered a single-A franchise. But again, going the Canadian professional baseball route, as we've seen now in the CEBL with basketball, and we've seen with the CPL in soccer, there is room for this to happen. And even this, what do you call it, the Perfect Game Baseball League out, what's happening in St. Catharines, baseball's growing. Canadian baseball is growing.
Yeah, and I think for us, like we're really, like I said, the CFL of baseball is really the best comparison. There's 9 teams in our league. These are the best players in all of Canada, in my opinion. We do have players from outside Canada. We're allowed 5 players on our rosters from all around the world, but the talent level is unbelievable. This is not a collegiate summer league. This is average age on our roster is probably 27, 28. So yeah, these guys are the real deal.
How do you attract these players? I don't know. Is it finances, or is it the baseball league itself, obviously, which is gaining this reputation? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think the league almost exists because a lot of our Canadian players, they went to school in the U.S., and there's a lot of independent leagues in the U.S., but unfortunately, they don't have a work visa to stay down there after they graduate, right? So they would often come back to Canada, and the playing opportunities are limited because there was no other league like us where you can play, beyond 22 and have like that real competitive spirit. So yeah, I think it really kind of exists that these players, they're ending their collegiate careers, they want to continue to play at a very, very high level, and that's really where the IBL steps in, is we're kind of that catch-all for those players.
This may be well down the line as you talk about the growth of the league and where it could end up as being a professional league. Is that something that you guys are going to have to look at, like salary caps, or like where does that fit in?
Yeah, I think that's going to be all on the table. We're going to have to sit down as a league and agree on all those like different legal items that we need to get all aligned on as owners. We've got 9 of us, right? So we have an odd number, so we can certainly vote. We're not going to be split on anything. But yeah, we need to address all those items. I think there's going to be a laundry list of things that we'll sit down and address. Now's not the time. We're about to head into our season, but I would suspect at the conclusion of our season, we're all in agreement that we want to go pro. We just need to figure out what that means, and I think, stay tuned. We'll kind of figure out what that's going to entail.
The key words, folks: stay tuned. We talk about the fan experience, and I think what we've noticed now in the sports media market is that you can attract interest for your franchise, for your league, by presenting sports in a documentary fashion. And teams, or at least fans, I can say, can learn about the teams, the inner workings of a franchise, players on an individual basis like they've never had that kind of access before. And that's happening with the Hamilton Cardinals. And we're so excited here at CHCH that you guys were doing something last year that nobody knew about.
Yeah, it was the first year of my ownership in 23 that I kind of got the idea from one of our other TV partner, Cable 14. One of their employees, Brendan, he kind of was saying like, hey, did you ever think about doing like a documentary? Because sometimes behind the scenes is a little bit more interesting on what's going on in front of the camera, or with the game. And I'm always a fan of that style of content. Like, I love documentaries. And so in July 23, so it was halfway through my first season, we worked with a videographer and producer, Matthew Scott, who's based out of Niagara. And yeah, we hired Matt, and he started just capturing everything behind the scenes. And we didn't know that was going to spin into a documentary series. I just felt like, content is king. Let's start capturing behind the scenes, put the cameras everywhere, in the locker room, the dugouts, mic up the players during the games and see what happens. And as we saw some of the raw footage, I was like, okay, I think we can make this a series. And that's where we're taking it.
And how did CHCH get involved?
Yeah, I was able to get an introduction through our partners at Cable 14. They have a great relationship with CH, and I got in touch with Cal and Roman and showed them what we were doing on the documentary, and they were all for it and loved it and have decided to put it on CH.
And folks, that will be a 7:00 primetime showing in July. We're so excited, and I think that's going to be, like, again, I just love the way this is so expertly shot. This is no different than what you would see on ESPN or any of the big sports networks in terms of shooting a sports doc like that. You got to be incredibly proud.
I am, yeah. Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's going to be 5 episodes. They're about 25 minutes in length, each one. And episode 1 will take us through the 23 season, and then the remaining 4 episodes of season 1, we'll call it, carry us through the 24 season. And we're now in production of season 2, which will cover our off season, which was very exciting. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Fernando Rodney at some point, but it'll carry into this season as well.
Amazing stuff. And I what I like about that too is that it will build. I mean, it will give reasons for people to say, I want to be part of this. I want to be there. And like, just one of the many things that you do. But I love that you said content is king. And you, the Jackfish as well too, you guys show no fear of being online. And sometimes I almost think it's neat because I feel like I'll just talk about your 2 franchises. It's almost like you're poking at each other.
Yeah, I think there's that natural rivalry. Like, we're so close, and obviously I've been heavily inspired by what they've done, and I have with so much respect for Ryan Harrison. Like, I'm not sitting here without Ryan and what they did in Welland. And we talk frequently, share best practices, but yeah, on the field, we love to compete. We love to compete against them. They're a top tier franchise. That's where we want to be on the field. So yeah, we're going to spice up that rivalry a little bit more this year too.
We love, and we're going to get to that. Now, what I think about baseball, the home opener, like hockey tries, the NFL tries, the CFL does their thing. I don't know what it is. There's a purity about the home opener in baseball, and you guys are on the verge of that. And that, again, just kicks off your season.
Yeah, this Friday night, Bernie Arbor Stadium, 7:30. We play the Brantford Red Sox. I think the home opener or the season opener in baseball, it's always this time of new hope, and everybody starts at 0-0 in the standings, and everybody's going to start their journey. So. And it's also a sign that summer's back. Right?
Great point. 18-24 last year, quarterfinal loss to London. Guys got a little bit better. You know, the Cardinals have had some lean years, I would say, to be honest. But you guys have raised the profile. You have raised the record. Seems to be improving, and you've gone out there and improved the club. And we're going to start here with Fernando Rodney. Like, how can we not? A World Series winner, multiple all-star pitcher, to be feared on the mound in his days in Major League Baseball, and ho-hum, here he is throwing in the IBL with your colors.
It's unbelievable. I mean, not to pat ourselves on the back too much, but I do feel like it's a bit of a historical Hamilton sports signing. We've had some major athletes come through the city, through the Tiger Cats or the Bulldogs, but. This is somebody who's got 17 years. I mean, he was on the Hall of Fame ballot this year, with Cooperstown. World Series ring, World Baseball Classic champion. It's just, it's unbelievable. I think he's already been pitching in the exhibition. Like, this is not a gimmick. This is not a promotional tool. I mean, he's here to win ball games. And we're expecting him to still be effective. He's at 48 years old, but he can still throw, as we saw in the preseason, which was on the screen now.
Yeah, and as we look at some of his Major League Baseball stuff, this is a guy that has faced all the best batters in all of baseball, done incredible things with multiple teams, and he's the kind of guy that we love in terms of a closer. He just doesn't go out there and throw. Like, it's a show.
Yeah, he's got personality, but he knows how to intimidate the batters and throw strikes. And I've been really impressed by him. He's just been,
look at that.
Shooting the arrow. He was shooting the arrow after he picked up a save in our exhibition game last week. We had a school day game. He's just he's great. He's really become a leader, I think, for a lot of the guys in the clubhouse. And we have a number of players from the Dominican Republic as well that probably grew up watching Fernando. I think Tyler said it best this morning on Morning Live that he was going to games in high school with the Seattle Mariners because he's from British Columbia, drive down, watch the game. He was watching Fernando Rodney close games in high school, and here they are on the, in the locker room together. I think they sit across from each other in the locker room, and they were sitting on the red couch this morning, and a little bit surreal for the guys, and it's surreal for us, but we're so proud, but also thankful that Fernando's trusting us with his incredible legacy. And
you wouldn't have brought him here if you didn't still think he could do the job.
Exactly.
Right.
And he's got a relationship with one of our coaches, Luis Bernardo, and Luis has been here the past 2 years as our starting catcher. So he got to really vouched for the city, how we do things. And yeah, it wouldn't have come together without Luis. So I think that added comfort.
I can only imagine. I mean, that's one thing if you're his teammate and not, again, a true aha moment. But can you imagine the rest of the 8 teams when you guys either go to their diamond or your guys are hosting them and you walk up to the plate and you're staring down that pitcher, trying to intimidate the pitcher, and you're like, well, this isn't working. That guy's done so much more than I've ever done. That's going to be wild for a lot of those batters.
Yeah, it will be. I think I think it'll benefit the league as a whole. Like, we go down to Chatham, we go up to Barrie. Like, for their fans to come down to Hamilton and see Fernando might be a bit of a stretch, but he might have the opportunity to pitch at those ballparks. He goes to every game, like he was there at practice last night. Right. It's going to be a really exciting
we talk
game.
about these kind of player movements, and in Toronto, they've done something that's historical as well.
Yeah, they brought in the first ever women's pitcher to the league, and she was very effective. This past Sunday, made her debut. They had a great turnout, lots of press. It just goes to show you that the IBL is like really breaking down barriers, and we're just,
Japanese, is she?
Yeah. And she's done great things on the world stage. I think she's got a couple World Cup wins, and I mean, we as much as we say like, hey, we want Rodney to pitch and benefit the rest of the league, like we want Sato to pitch against us in Hamilton.
Right.
I have a daughter, and I think that's a great role model for girls to see, is that you can play baseball together.
Amazing thing. Hey, we talk about was there any other key signings actually that you can brag about? Your opportunity now.
Yeah, I mean, we've got we overturned a lot of the roster this year. We kind of changed things how we did baseball operations wise. We ended up going to the Dominican Republic in November, and we held a tryout at Robinson Cano's baseball academy in San Pedro. We got to meet Robinson Cano.
Wow.
And that's where we first met Fernando. And Luis he lives in the DR in the off season, so he put together a tryout. We met so many prospective players. We ended up signing 4 others in addition to Rodney. So yeah, we've got Ramon Henriquez, who pitched with the New York Mets organization in the minor leagues, and Ramon Sanchez, also another starting pitcher for us. He pitched with the Rays organization. Of course, we have Raquel de Castro, who's the Blue Jays organization. Julie Vitini, who's our new catcher, the successor to Luis Bernardo. He was in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. So this, again, all of these players have professional experience, which is just leading us to continue to be a professional league.
With all these players and the signees, you have to have a good manager and a good coaching staff to bring these guys along. Tell me a little bit about the combination of your manager, Chris Piano, and his bench coach, his trusty sidekick, Dean Castelli.
Yeah, Dean's been with the organization for a very long time, and he was the manager for a number of years, including 23. And then Piano took over in 24, and Piano's pretty fiery, and I think he kind of is passionate. Like, he played for the Hamilton organization for many years. He's also featured heavily in the documentary because we've got the cameras in the locker room, so you hear his speeches. He's great. I mean, we just love Chris. We've got all the trust in him. He played in the league, so he does have relationships with a lot of the players because with some of the players in the league were actually teammates with Chris, and we acquired the best third baseman in the league, Jonathan Salazzo, from Toronto this offseason. He actually played with Chris. But yeah, we completed a trade, I think back in January to bring in John. So yeah, so John and Piano, they've got that relationship too. And I think that always helps with the manager and a top player like John.
No doubt, the trust is huge. That would be a great way to start the season and rely on your guy, right? You always want your guy.
Yeah, but I do think this is the most talented Cardinals team that we've ever had. Like I said, I think I took an honest look at where we were at in the standings. Like the first 2 years of my ownership, we were below 500. As you said, like the Cardinals, we have not been successful. We've had 60 losing seasons in 66 years. 6 winning seasons, so we had to change something. And we did. I mean, I built out a baseball operations department for us to identify which players we want to bring in. So it was more of a democratic approach on how we were signing players. Previously, we had a general manager who had stepped down, George Halim. George was with us in the past, he was the year and a half with me. And then he stepped out. He got a great job opportunity to BC. So I decided to kind of shake up that area. And we just kind of raised the bar on, I think, the talent level that we thought it would take to be a Hamilton Cardinal, to kind of put it bluntly. And we did overturn a lot of the roster. And we did end up signing Owen Boone from London, who was a free agent. And Owen is regarded as he's probably the top Canadian pitcher.
Oh, okay.
He's got 2 championship rings with London. And we were super excited that Owen decided to join us here in Hamilton. He lives in Toronto now, so it's a little bit more convenient than going back to London. But yeah, I think this is the most talented roster that we have ever had.
Well, and I think it helps too. I think you've hired also, you talk about off the field and have people that are helping you identify talent, and bringing in someone by the likes of Jamie Lever, Blue Jays experience as your director of player development and scouting. I mean, that's got to be just huge for you.
Yeah, and Jamie's broken down barriers as well, like first ever women's coach in the minors for the Blue Jays. And I think Jamie would be a great person to have on this red couch too.
Okay.
But yeah, she's been extremely helpful. Again, trying to build out a system, and that kind of speaks to like where the league is going, is the analytics. We have interns that pitch track, and Jamie and Matt Creeley, who's our director of stats and advanced scouting, they've been working with them to figure out, let's put together actual game plans for our players and see what key insights we can gain from the other teams. And Jamie also knows a lot of different players that she's worked with over the years, and that's usually a market that we're looking for. We're looking for players that have been released in affiliate ball. Blue Jays, they typically already have a Canadian visa. So yeah, we think Jamie can also help on player acquisition as well.
Well, the behind-the-scenes structure in terms of player personnel and someone working in player development, that is the backbone of any franchise, and that's great that you've got someone that you trust, that's been there and done it before, to raise the profile of, as you said, your player pool. That's incredible that you've been able to do that.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's in the off season. Yeah, we put in a lot of work. Like as soon as that season ended in September, that group was identifying the players that we should be going after and really coming up with more of a system to say, we looked at a lot of data. I do have some data experience in my corporate world. So
yes,
I was able to assist with that process. But there was like a clear definition of, okay, which players have succeeded in this league based upon the historical data? Which NCAA conferences did they come from? What level of professional baseball were they playing at? And how is that translated over to our league? So we kind of came up with a good system, which helped us build out the roster. And also helps, though. I mean, we do have Tyler Duncan, who was here this morning. He's the best player in the league, in my opinion. He proved that in 23, winning the MVP. And in 24, he won the home run derby. He set Cardinals franchise records. So we certainly didn't want to waste Tyler in the prime of his career. We wanted to build around Tyler, and I feel like we've really done that this offseason.
That's got to excite him too. He's got to sit there and say, my team is making moves, right? Like we're making moves, and as you said, while I'm still good,
He's prime of his career, right? Like winning the MVP. We don't want that to go unnoticed, unwasted. Like we want to really build around Tyler. I mean, he calls Hamilton home now. He's been here in the off season. Lives here full time. This is his 4th season as a Cardinal. He was here before I got here. So building around Tyler, and he was here this morning saying that it's so surreal that now we have Fernando Rodney on our roster because he was watching him pitch in high school in Seattle. So I think he's excited, and all the guys are.
Well, we're also again excited here at CHCH, and we talked about the doc sports doc about the Cardinals that will be airing in July on this network. But we've also come up with something to, how can I put this? For many years in the CFL, and it still continues to this day, the rivalry between the Toronto Argonauts and the Hamilton Tiger Cats has been, it crosses all barriers, right? Social, economical, players, fans, and they've had something called the Harold Ballard Cup. Right? Which, they play each other 3 to 4 times a year, and whoever ends up with the most wins proudly has the Harold Ballard Cup. That's going to happen right here with something called the CHCH Cup. Can you please explain?
Yeah, we thought that, with CHCH, your 2 primary markets, Hamilton and Niagara, we have this natural rivalry with the Welland Jackfish, who are, Niagara's baseball team, and we just needed to, add some fuel to that fire. And of course, Ryan and I, we're big on the marketing side, and we thought, what could we do and get another partner involved and make it a long-standing tradition. And we did go back into the archives that in '88, when the New York Penn League was here, the Hamilton Redbirds were the St. Louis Cardinals affiliate at that time. And there was a QEW Cup when they were playing, I think, the Welland Pirates or the St. Catharines Blue Jays. Like, there was that QEW Cup already existing. So we thought, maybe we reboot that. It's going to be basically awarded to the winner of our season series, and we are going to have an actual physical cup, and we're going to bring it here to CH, and it's going to be exciting. Our first game against each other will be this Sunday, May 18th, and then the following week we're going to be in Welland Thursday, May 22nd. So, just raising the stakes on our rivalry.
I love those 2 games in June, like on back-to-back days you guys face each other. The heat will be heavy.
Yeah, it's we always want to beat them, and they always want to beat us, right? So it's why not compete for something so much more and create a tradition? Because
well, we're proud to be part of it. I can say that on behalf of our owners, which obviously you guys sealed the deal, and I'll say that publicly. I think that's just outstanding. Maybe I'll get to award the trophy.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll award it to you. Or will it be like, because this is always a debate between the NBA and NHL, where the trophy goes to the owner, or does it go to the players?
I think it should go to the players, but I think the winner would be like, we have Lager Shed beer, so maybe we'll pour Lager Shed beer in it. I know in Welland they have the pond water lager, so maybe they're going to pour the pond water in the cup. But the stakes are going to be high.
I'm so excited for this season, Eric. It is great that you've been able to come here and talk about the Cardinals. The season starting once again.
Yeah, this Friday, May 16th at Bernie Arbor Stadium on Hamilton Mountain, 7:35 first pitch. And if you can't be there, the action is on Cable 14 as well. It could be streamed live at cable14now.com for free, no login.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I apologize. I have forgotten one little thing, too. And it's a big thing, too. The All-Star game?
Yeah, All-Star Home Run Derby.
Yep.
This is a once-in-a-decade opportunity for us. The All-Star game rotates. We're excited to have that. That's going to be on Sunday, July 20th. We're going to have the Home Run Derby at 5 o'clock, and then we're going to have the All-Star game at 7:30. And that Home Run Derby is going to be simulcast here on CHCH. It'll lead into the 6 o'clock news, but it's gonna be exciting.
We're really excited for you guys and really looking forward to covering you guys this season with the highlights and results. So we will always have those on the news at 6 and obviously the ticker and all that kind of stuff. And again, maybe even bringing you guys in to the morning show and podcasts like this. Really proud of what you guys have accomplished. Thanks for good luck this season.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming in here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, partners. All right, that's your Sportsline podcast for the day. And if you've just seen and heard, we love talking local sports. If you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote the Sportsline podcast, do want to hear from you. Please, pretty please, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe button. And if you have something to say, we always appreciate your comments. For the outstanding people that make the Sportsline podcast possible, thank you so much. See you tomorrow.